Brandon Phillips stood on that conference room table like he was announcing the second coming of Steve Jobs. Except instead of unveiling some revolutionary product, he pointed straight at me and yelled, "You're done, Rick." Just like that. 13 years of keeping this place running, and I got fired in front of 25 people while the kid ate a protein bar and called it trimming the dead weight. I'm Rick Coleman, 52 years old, and I used to run infrastructure operations for Phillips Tech. Used to being the key phrase here. I didn't say a word, didn't argue. Just pulled the master access ring from my pocket, the same keys I'd carried for over a decade. The ones that opened server rooms, authenticated critical systems, and unlocked that basement storage area where we kept the backup generators. Held them up like a bartender sliding a drink to a problem customer and said, "Good luck with that." Brandon smirked like he'd just conquered Wall Street. What he didn't know, what nobody in that room knew, was that those weren't just door keys. They were encrypted hardware authentication tokens tied to every critical system Phillips Tech operated. See, Brandon wasn't born into this business. He was manufactured in a trust fund factory. You could smell the generational wealth coming off his designer cologne. When his dad Bill stepped back for some personal clarity journey, the board reluctantly named Brandon interim CEO. The kid immediately started calling himself a macro visionary and referring to himself in third person like some kind of corporate deity. Then came the purge. Started that Monday morning by firing Jerry, our company historian who'd been documenting processes since the Clinton administration. Poor guy just nodded quietly and packed his cardigan. Next, Brandon slashed the wellness budget and cut 2 remote workers over Zoom, muting them halfway through their goodbyes. But I was the prize. The power move. Brandon needed a scapegoat with a name people recognized. Someone who represented the old way of doing business. Needed to prove the old guard was finished. So he took me out like a rusty filing cabinet. Loudly, publicly, with maximum spectacle. I walked past the reception desk, past the shocked interns, past that motivational poster I'd always hated, "Innovation drives excellence," and straight to my truck. Didn't drive home right away. Sat in that parking garage staring at those keys. They felt heavier than usual. Not the metal itself, but what they represented. Access, authority. 13 years of accumulated responsibility that Brandon just threw away like a used coffee cup. Then I opened my glove compartment and pulled out the blue binder I'd kept there for emergencies. Infrastructure protocols, system documentation, federal compliance matrices. This wasn't some personal vendetta folder, this was institutional memory in 3-ring form. 13 years ago, when Phillips Tech was still operating out of a converted warehouse, Bill trusted me with access that didn't come with a fancy title, just massive responsibility. I was the designated systems custodian on paper and the guy who actually kept the lights on in practice. I stayed overnight during the ransomware attack in 2019, manually switching servers while the automated systems ran diagnostics. When the fire inspector said our server setup violated 3 different codes, I spent a week negotiating variance permits. When vendors threatened to pull contracts over late payments, I smoothed things over with personal relationships built over years. I had signing authority on infrastructure leases, regulatory compliance documents, and security certifications that Brandon didn't even know existed. More importantly, I had the vendor relationships and institutional knowledge to make those signatures mean something. Let him play CEO. Let him fire good people and throw tantrums about legacy thinking. He'd just eliminated the one person who knew where all the digital bodies were buried. My front door always stuck a little. Foundation shifted during that 2008 earthquake, and I never bothered fixing it. Kind of liked that it pushed back when something wasn't right. I kicked it open, dropped my bag by the coffee maker, and sat at my kitchen table. I wasn't angry yet, just quiet. There's a specific kind of silence that happens when something you've built gets handed to someone who thinks compliance is just another software subscription. I went to the hall closet and reached behind the winter coats, pulled down a black binder that hadn't seen daylight since our last federal audit. Inside was everything Brandon forgot to ask about during his streamlining. Vendor authorization codes, NIST compliance protocols, SOX documentation requirements, multi-factor authentication hierarchies. And on page 1, in official government letterhead, Richard Coleman, designated systems custodian for Phillips Tech federal contractor certification. When you don't demand corner offices or executive parking spots, people forget what they've signed. But I remembered every late-night conference call with federal auditors, Every emergency system patch, every compliance deadline I'd met while everyone else was focused on quarterly earnings. My signature wasn't just on internal documents. It was registered with 3 federal agencies as the primary contact for security clearance verification. The Navy taught me that logistics and supply chains are only as strong as their weakest link. Turned out I wasn't just a link in Phillips Tech's chain. I was the master connection holding the whole thing together. You don't fire the master connection. You transition them properly. You document the handover. You spend weeks training their replacement. You say thank you and throw a retirement party. But Brandon wanted headlines, not process. He wanted disruption theater, not operational continuity. So I started making calls. First call was to Sandra at Data Vault Hosting. She picked up on the second ring, voice already tense. "Rick, thank God. We've been getting credential verification errors since this afternoon. What's going on over there?" I kept it simple and professional, just letting you know I'm no longer authorized for maintenance overrides on the Tier 3 servers. Dead silence. Then, "But your name's still the primary contact on our federal contractor portal. You're listed as the compliance verification officer. Not my problem anymore, Sandra. You'll need to reach out to someone else." "Who?" "We don't have anyone else in our system." I could hear her typing frantically. Sandra had been managing our hosting relationship for 8 years. She knew how these government contracts worked. One missing signature could freeze millions in billing. "Rick, this is serious. If we can't verify compliance status, we have to suspend services pending audit. That's a federal requirement." "I understand. You should probably call Phillips Tech directly." We tried. Got transferred to some kid named Bryce who hung up on us. Second call was to Tom at SecureGrid, our badge and surveillance vendor. He actually chuckled when I told him about my situation. "That explains the dashboard alerts we've been seeing. Someone tried rebooting your authentication server around 3 p.m. Locked the whole system." "They what?" "Yeah, looks like they thought it was a Windows machine. Just hit restart when the badges started throwing errors. Now it's stuck in safe mode and won't accept administrative commands." Tom had installed our security system back when we moved into the current building. Former Army Signal Corps knew his way around both military and civilian protocols. We'd worked together through 2 major upgrades and countless small fixes. "Here's the thing, Rick. Your biometric signature is hard-coded into the root authentication matrix. Even if I wanted to help them, I can't create new admin access without your physical presence for retinal scan verification." "How long until the system times out?" 72 hours, then it goes into full lockdown mode. After that, we're looking at a complete reinstall. New hardware, new everything. Probably 6 weeks minimum, assuming they can get federal approval for the replacement components. I made notes in my binder. Not for revenge, just keeping track of the cascade effects. When you pull one thread in a complex system, everything else starts unraveling in predictable ways. Third call was to Maria at Apex Logistics, our facilities management contractor. She was already frustrated before I explained my situation. The HVAC system's been acting crazy all afternoon. Temperature sensors are giving bad readings and the backup generators won't accept remote commands. That's because the environmental control system is tied into the same authentication network as everything else. "Can you walk me through the override procedures?" "Maria, I don't work there anymore. You'll need to contact Phillips Tech for authorization. We tried. They said you were the only one with administrative access to the facilities systems." That was the pattern. For 13 years, I'd been the central point of contact for every vendor relationship, every compliance requirement, every system that kept Phillips Tech running. Not because I was a control freak, but because that's how you maintain security in a federal contracting environment. One person signs, one person is responsible, one person can be held accountable. Brandon thought he was firing a middle manager. What he actually did was yank the master key out of a Swiss watch and hand the pieces to someone who'd never seen the inside of a timepiece. Tuesday morning, 7:30 a.m., exactly 24 hours after my termination, the first wave hit. I wasn't there to see it, but I heard about it from Amy, our receptionist, who called me from her personal phone. "Rick, it's chaos here. Nobody can get into the building. The badge readers are just beeping at everyone. Brandon's outside in the parking lot screaming at his phone." The overnight security guard, Carl, had gone home at 6 a.m. like always. The automatic lock system was supposed to re-enable badge access at 7 a.m. Instead, it stayed in secure mode because the authentication server couldn't verify any administrative users. 280 employees standing outside in business casual, clustering around badge readers like confused tourists at a locked museum. IT got looped in. Raj, our head of technology and probably the smartest guy in the building, tried explaining the situation to Brandon over speakerphone. We can't provision new badge access until we transfer the master authentication credentials from Rick's account. So do it, Brandon demanded. We can't, sir. Rick was the root administrator. Only he could create new administrative accounts without triggering federal security protocols. Can't you hack around it? Sir, he designed it specifically to resist unauthorized access. It's compliant with NIST cybersecurity frameworks and Defense Department tamper-resistant standards. If we try to bypass it, the system will flag us as a potential security breach and notify federal oversight. By 9 a.m., someone had called a locksmith, professional guy who took one look at the badge readers and shook his head. These aren't mechanical locks, son. This is a fully integrated electronic security system. I can't just drill these out without setting off alarms from here to Washington. Brandon finally called the fire department, claiming it was an emergency evacuation issue. The fire chief, a former Marine named Rodriguez, took about 30 seconds to size up the situation. Son, this isn't a fire emergency. This is a management problem. Your people can get out of the building just fine. They just can't get back in. Maybe next time, don't fire your security administrator without reading the manual first. The building stayed locked until 2 p.m. when Sandra from Data Vault drove over with an emergency access device she kept for situations exactly like this. Cost Phillips Tech $5,000 in emergency service fees just to unlock their own front door. By Wednesday, the real problems started showing up. Not the dramatic stuff like locked doors, but the quiet financial bleeding that kills companies slowly. Payroll hit a snag first. Not because the money wasn't there, but because our automated systems couldn't verify routing authorization for direct deposits. Every electronic payment required dual authentication, one from the finance director and one from the designated federal compliance officer. That second signature was supposed to come from me. Janet from finance called me Wednesday morning, voice tight with stress. Rick, I know this is awkward, but we need your authorization token for the payroll run. The system won't process without dual verification. Janet, I don't work there anymore. You'll need to update the authorization matrix. That's what I told Brandon. He said to just override it somehow. I had to laugh. You can't override federal banking regulations with management enthusiasm. Those protocols exist for a reason. What reason? Sarbanes-Oxley compliance. Every federal contractor has to maintain separation of financial authority. One person controls the money, another person verifies the transactions. If both signatures come from the same authorization level, it triggers an audit flag. Janet went quiet. She'd been doing payroll for 6 years but never had to understand the underlying compliance architecture. Why would she? That was my job. How long do we have? Payroll processors give you 72 hours to resolve authentication issues before they freeze the account. After that, you're looking at manual check processing for 280 people. Thursday morning brought the procurement crisis. Our primary component supplier, TechFlow Industries, suspended all shipments pending customer verification review. Their automated system had flagged Phillips Tech as a compliance risk. The issue was simple. Our purchase orders required verification from the designated custodial officer before shipment. For 8 years, that had been me. Now my digital signature was orphaned in their system, still required for authorization but no longer valid for new transactions. TechFlow's account manager, Steve Rodriguez, called to explain the situation. We'd worked together since 2018, building a relationship that had saved Phillips Tech roughly $200,000 in rush delivery fees over the years. Rick, I want to help, but our compliance department won't budge. Your company fired their verified signatory without updating our authorization database. From our perspective, you guys are operating without proper financial controls. That's because we are, Steve. Can't someone else just sign the forms? Not without going through the full vendor qualification process again. New background checks, new federal verification, new credit review. You're looking at 6 to 8 weeks minimum. What about emergency authorization? Emergency status requires approval from your federal oversight officer. Since Phillips Tech is flagged as non-compliant, they won't grant emergency status. Steve sighed. Rick, off the record, this whole thing looks suspicious from the outside. Companies don't usually fire their compliance officers unless something's wrong. My legal department is wondering if you guys are under investigation. That hit me like a cold slap. The optics were terrible. From the vendor's perspective, Phillips Tech had suddenly terminated their primary financial oversight officer with no transition plan. In the federal contracting world, that kind of move screams fraud investigation or bankruptcy preparation. Friday brought the call I'd been expecting. Meridian Corporation's legal department. Mr. Coleman, this is Jennifer Walsh from Meridian Legal. We're conducting a compliance alignment review regarding the Philips Tech contract and would appreciate a few minutes of your time. Jennifer was thorough and professional, asked specific questions about my role, my termination circumstances, and current access status. I answered everything honestly. Mr. Coleman, according to our records, you were the verified custodial officer for all federal contractor certifications. Is that correct? Yes. And you were terminated without a formal transition of those responsibilities. That's correct. Are you aware of any compliance violations or irregularities that might have prompted your termination? No. I was fired for being dead weight, according to the interim CEO. Long pause. I see. And in your professional opinion, does Philips Tech currently have proper custodial oversight for federal contracting requirements? No, they don't. Another pause. Thank you for your candor, Mr. Coleman. We may have follow-up questions. Monday morning, the hammer fell. Meridian's procurement office sent a formal notice to Philips Tech. Contract negotiations suspended pending compliance verification review. The $280 million logistics contract, representing roughly 40% of Philips Tech's annual revenue, was officially on hold. Brandon called an emergency staff meeting. I wasn't there, but Amy filled me in later. He stood in the same conference room where he'd fired me and tried to explain why their biggest client had just walked away from the negotiating table. This is a temporary misunderstanding, he told the assembled staff. Meridian is being overly cautious about some paperwork issues. We'll have this resolved within the week. Raj, the IT director, raised his hand. Brandon, if this is just paperwork, why don't we fix it? We're working on it. Who's working on it? Rick was our compliance officer. We don't need Rick. We can handle this internally. With who? You fired the only person who knew how the compliance systems worked. Brandon's face went red. We'll figure it out. That afternoon, Philips Tech's stock price dropped 12% on news of the Meridian contract suspension. The financial press picked up the story. Philips Tech loses major contract amid compliance concerns. Local business reporters started digging into the details. They found the timeline. Compliance officer terminated Monday, major contract suspended Friday. The optics were devastating. Bill Phillips, the founder, cut his personal clarity journey short and flew back from whatever meditation retreat he'd been attending. By Wednesday, he was back in the building, having quiet conversations with board members and looking like a man who'd just discovered his house was on fire. Meanwhile, I was sitting in my kitchen reading the news coverage and feeling something I hadn't expected. Sadness. Not for Brandon. He'd earned every bit of this mess. But for the 280 people who were about to learn that leadership failures roll downhill fast. The final board meeting wasn't on any public calendar. No corporate communications, no press releases. This was the kind of meeting that happens behind closed doors with phones left outside and voices kept deliberately low. I knew about it because Michael, the general counsel, called me Thursday evening. Rick, I need to ask you some questions for the board. Can you come in Friday morning? 9 a.m. Am I being subpoenaed? No, nothing like that. We just need your professional assessment of the current situation. I showed up wearing my best suit. Navy dress blues taught me that how you present yourself matters when the stakes are high. The boardroom felt different than it had during my firing. Quieter, more serious. Bill Phillips sat at the head of the table looking like he'd aged 5 years in 2 weeks. Brandon was there, flanked by legal counsel and what looked like a stack of documentation with my name highlighted throughout. Michael started with the basics. Rick, can you walk us through your role as systems custodian? For 20 minutes, I explained the compliance architecture I'd built over 13 years. Federal contractor requirements, vendor authorization matrices, financial oversight protocols. The board listened without interrupting, taking notes. When you were terminated, was there any transition of these responsibilities? No. I was told to clean out my desk and leave immediately. One board member leaned forward. Mr. Coleman, in your professional opinion, can Philips Tech currently fulfill its federal contracting obligations? No, sir. Not without significant remediation and recertification. How significant? 6 to 8 months minimum. New background checks, new vendor qualifications, new federal oversight approval. And that's assuming no compliance violations are found during the review process. Bill asked the question I'd been expecting. What would it take to fix this quickly? You'd need me to come back and execute a proper transition. But even then, the damage to vendor relationships and client confidence would take years to repair. Brandon finally spoke up. This is all being blown out of proportion. We can hire consultants to handle the paperwork. Michael slid a folder across the table. These are the estimates from 3 different compliance consulting firms. Minimum cost, $2.8 million. Timeline, 12 to 18 months. And that's with no guarantee that federal agencies will accept the transition. The room went quiet. You could hear the HVAC system cycling, the same system that was still throwing temperature alerts because nobody knew how to reset the authentication protocols. There's one more thing, Michael continued. The SEC has opened a preliminary inquiry into the Meridian contract suspension. They want to understand why a major federal contractor suddenly terminated their compliance officer without documentation. Bill's face went gray. Are we under investigation? Not yet. But the optics are terrible. Companies don't usually fire their oversight officers unless something's wrong. The SEC is wondering what we're hiding. That's when I understood the real scope of Brandon's mistake. He hadn't just fired an employee. He'd created the appearance of fraud or misconduct. Every vendor, every client, every regulatory agency was now looking at Phillips Tech with suspicion. The board session continued for another hour without me. I waited in the lobby, reading magazines and watching employees hurry past with the nervous energy of people who know layoffs are coming. Bill found me there around noon. Rick, I want to apologize. What Brandon did was wrong and the way he did it was inexcusable. I appreciate that, Bill. I also want to offer you your job back. Full reinstatement, promotion to VP level, whatever it takes. I'd been expecting this conversation. Bill, I can't come back. Why not? We need you. Because in 6 months or a year, when things stabilize, Brandon or someone like him will decide I'm dead weight again. I can't build my life around someone else's definition of my value. Bill nodded slowly. What if I guaranteed that wouldn't happen? You can't guarantee anything. You stepped away once, and look what happened. That afternoon, Phillips Tech's board voted to remove Brandon as interim CEO and reinstated Bill as active chairman. The press release was carefully worded. Leadership transition to ensure operational continuity during a period of strategic realignment. Corporate speak for we fired the boss's son before he burned the place down. I spent the weekend setting up Coleman Systems Consulting, rented a small office downtown, had business cards printed, registered with the State Business Bureau. Nothing fancy, just professional. Monday morning, my phone started ringing. First call was from Steve Rodriguez at TechFlow Industries. Rick, I heard you're consulting now. We've got 3 clients asking about compliance verification services. Interested? Second call was from Sandra at Data Vault. Rick, our other federal contractor clients are nervous about their compliance status. Can you do audits? By Wednesday, I had 5 clients signed and 3 more scheduled for consultation. Word travels fast in the federal contracting world, especially when a major company implodes over compliance issues. Phillips Tech struggled for months. Bill managed to stabilize operations, but the Meridian contract was permanently lost. They had to lay off 85 people and sell their government contracting division to stay solvent. Brandon disappeared from the local business scene. Last I heard, he was running a cryptocurrency startup in Austin telling people he was a disruption specialist. 6 months later, I was sitting in my expanded office reviewing proposals for a $40 million federal consulting contract when Amy called. Rick, Bill Phillips is here. Says he wants to hire Coleman Systems Consulting for compliance oversight. I looked out my window at the Phillips Tech building across the street. Still there, still operating, but smaller now. Humbled. Tell him I'll call him back, I said. I'm booked solid for the next 6 months. Sometimes the best revenge is simply being too busy to return phone calls. And trust me, I'm very busy these days.